if there's too many brilliant people in the room, too many egos and stuff, that can also work against the flow. So
it's funny you touched on ego, because now I remember thinking of this before our call. Am I correct in believing that, ego is just, it's an impediment basically to creativity? Would you say that's fair to say?
yes, I'd say that, just as it is an impediment to meditation, right? And yet, how many people, back to Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, all these true ego maniacs, that what drove them to what they got to was their ego. So we can't say that the ego is bad. Just like we can't, in personal life, you don't want to say, oh, my goal is I want to be so enlightened that I don't have an ego. No, you still, you need to walk to the store and buy food. You better have an ego who knows how to do that. So it really is a balancing act, and just being able to live with that knowledge and be aware of your ego rather than, get rid of it. It doesn't work.
Yeah, that's an interesting dichotomy between having an ego strong enough to drive the follow through with the vision, but also not too strong that it stifles the creativity maybe of others or even yourself. I wonder if meditation can be like a tool that helps with that introspection, to help check in with where you stand with that.
I think it's more, you're familiar with the concept of flow, state of flow. The creative state and the meditative state are states of flow. One feels it when the ego comes in. When ego comes in meditation, it's that voice that comes in and saying, oh, I'm not thinking, or I'm thinking too much, or I'm not sitting this, or my foot hurts, or whatever the ego brings up. In creativity, when the ego comes up, the flow stops. And you see that with musicians. Again, I come from the world of jazz, and when people are improvising, when people play music, when the ego comes in and they start kind of observing themselves playing, they're going to fuck up. They're going to play the wrong note, or if they're in a drumming circle, they're going to mess up the rhythm, whatever. So the practice is one of being in flow, whether it's when you're creative or when you're meditating. It's that place of letting the stuff go by you, deferring judgment, and that's the sweet spot.
Do you think that ego, what happens to ego in your opinion as people get older?
Well, I think just as we get older, the volume gets turned up to 11 on everything we do, right? So if we're able to, with age, practice letting go of the ego, then with age, we can learn to do it better. People go on weekend meditation retreats. People look for yoga to whatever. And it's almost like they do it on the weekend, but then they come back to life. And it's that integration that's the big challenge, right? In our lives, it's integrating what we've learned into daily life and making it part of it. That's really important.